When Sean Diddy Combs walked out of the federal courthouse on October 12, 2025, he wasn't just convicted of transporting prostitutes. He walked out with a target on his back. Not from the feds, not from the victims, but from the ghosts of 1997. Because buried beneath the headlines of sex trafficking, racketeering, and freak-offs lies a decades-old secret: the unsolved murder of the Notorious B.I.G. and the growing pile of evidence that suggests Diddy's empire was built on more than just hits. It was built on silence. But what cameras didn't show you in that courtroom? The journal entries, the deleted footage, the witness who never made it to the stand, and the one question that's finally being asked again. Did Diddy's past finally catch up with him? Not because of what he did, but because of what he didn't do. But to understand this moment, you need to know what really happened in the final 24 hours of Biggie's life, and why that night is now being weaponized against the man who once called him brother. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button and smash the like. You won't want to miss what comes next. If you missed it, Sean Combs, hip-hop billionaire, Bad Boy founder, Ciroc kingpin, was just convicted on 2 counts of transporting individuals to engage in prostitution. But this isn't just another celebrity scandal. This is the unraveling of a 30-year myth. Because while the media is obsessing over freak-offs and white parties, the real story is buried in episode 2 of Netflix's Sean Combs: The Reckoning, where a never-before-seen journal entry from Bad Boy co-founder Kirk Burrows hints at a code red the night Biggie died. On one side, Diddy, worth $800 million at his peak, now stripped of his Revolt network, his Hulu docuseries, and his White Party guest list. On the other, a growing list of former artists, bodyguards, and industry insiders who've waited decades to talk. Most coverage stops at the sex scandals. We're going deeper, because the real story involves a 1997 LAPD cover-up, a missing surveillance tape from the Peterson Automotive Museum, and a confession letter that resurfaced in 2023 written by a former Blood who claims he was paid $50K to make it look random. And once you see how all 3 roads lead back to Bad Boy Records, you can't unsee it. Before the yachts, before the Hamptons, before the Vanity Fair covers, Sean Combs was just a 23-year-old Howard dropout with a dream and a stolen Rolodex. He started Bad Boy in 1993 with $500K seed money from Clive Davis and a vision: make hip-hop glamorous. Enter Christopher Wallace, the Notorious B.I.G., a 300-pound Bed-Stuy poet with a flow so cold it made grown men cry. By 1995, Biggie was the hottest name in rap. Ready to Die went 4x platinum. Diddy? He wasn't just managing, he was curating. The Versace shoots, the shiny suits, the Moet brunches. Biggie called him the nigger that made me fancy. But behind the scenes, tensions brewed. According to Kirk Burrows' journal entries, Biggie was uncomfortable with the West Coast trips and wanted out of LA before March. Diddy ignored it. He was too busy courting Dre at Interscope, too busy flying Tupac's enemies first class. In one entry, dated February 24, 1997, Burrows wrote, "Sean said Pac's gone, and now we own the coast. I told him Big didn't want to go to Cali. He said he'll go where the money is." That was the first crack. March 8, 12:30 a.m., the Soul Train Awards after-party at the Peterson Automotive Museum. Biggie's in a navy blue Carl Connie suit, laughing with Lil Cease. Diddy's in the corner, whispering with Suge Knight's ex-security chief, Reggie Wright Jr. At 12:45 a.m., Biggie's bodyguard, Gene Deal, later told Vlad TV he got a weird call telling me to stand down. At 12:49 a.m., Biggie left the museum. At 12:55 a.m., a dark Chevy Impala pulled up. 13 shots. 4 hit Biggie. 1 severed his colon. He died at 1:15 a.m. at Cedars-Sinai. The official story: a random drive-by. The killers never caught. But here's what the Netflix doc shows for the first time: a 1998 LAPD internal memo labeled confidential that reads, "Suspect identified as affiliated with death row. Possible mob Piru connection. Combs may have prior knowledge." And then there's the journal. Burroughs wrote on March 9th, "Sean didn't cry. He said, 'Now we own the myth.' I asked if we were safe. He said, 'We're richer.'" The spark wasn't just the murder. It was the silence that followed.
Biggie's death didn't kill Bad Boy, it immortalized it. Life After Death dropped 16 days later. It sold 690,000 copies in a week. Diddy's next move? I'll Be Missing You, a tribute track that made him $15 million in publishing alone. But behind the scenes, the war was just starting. 1998, Lil' Kim leaves Bad Boy, says Diddy owns her masters and her soul. 1999, Shine fires a gun in Club New York. Diddy escapes trial. Shine gets 10 years. 2000, Kirk Burroughs sues Diddy for $25 million, alleging fraud, coercion, and financial manipulation. 2001, Mace retires from rap, says I sold my soul for a record deal. 2003, Loon leaves Bad Boy, later convicted on drug charges, claims Diddy set him up. Each exit had one thing in common. They all knew about the night Biggie died, and they all signed NDAs. But the real war wasn't in court, it was in the streets. In 2004, former LAPD detective Russell Poole went on CNN and said, "We had evidence linking a Bad Boy affiliate to the murder. The case was shut down from above." That affiliate? A man named Muhammad Moochie Johnson, Diddy's cousin. By 2006, Diddy was untouchable. He'd sold Bad Boy to Warner for $30 million. He launched Sean John, Ciroc, and Revolt. But the bodies kept piling up. 2008, Kirk Burroughs' brother is shot twice in Brooklyn, survives. 2012, Gene Deal claims he was offered $1 million to stop talking. 2016, the LAPD reopens Biggie's murder case, quietly closes it again. 2020, a former Blood named Dwayne Keefe D confesses on Vlad TV to being in the car, says he was paid, doesn't say by whom. But here's where the story everyone knows ends and the real story begins. Let's break this down. Kirk Burroughs' journal entries span 1994 to 2001, 312 pages. LAPD memo dated March 18, 1998 references Combs' prior knowledge. Netflix doc confirms the footage of Diddy in LA 48 hours before Biggie's death was illegally obtained but legally sourced. Every time a Bad Boy artist got close to the truth, they were either jailed, bought out, or silenced. Shine, Loon, Mace, Kim, even Burroughs, who went from co-founder to pariah in 18 months. Biggie's estate, worth $160 million, was controlled by Diddy until 2006. His mother, Valletta Wallace, later sued, settled for $6 million. Diddy kept the masters. While the East versus West war raged, Diddy was quietly buying up publishing. By 2003, he owned 40% of Biggie's catalog, 25% of Faith Evans, and 100% of 112's. Here's what actually happened. While the media told us Biggie's murder was unsolvable, internal LAPD files show a different story. According to a 2003 deposition from Detective Russell Poole, we had evidence linking a Bad Boy affiliate to the murder. The case was shut down from above. That witness? A woman named Taisha Johnson. She died in a car explosion in 2005. But the Netflix doc dropped a new bombshell, a 2023 audio recording of Burroughs saying Sean knew. He didn't order it, but he didn't stop it, and he used it. Used it how? To build a myth, to sell records, to become the martyr's mentor. And that's why this conviction isn't about prostitution. It's about control. Because when you spend 30 years silencing people, eventually someone talks. And when they do, the myth cracks. Diddy serves 3 of his 4 years, gets out early for good behavior, drops a memoir, sells it for $10 million, but no one signs him. No comeback tour, no verses. One of his sons, maybe King Combs, flips, drops a documentary, tells everything, becomes the new face of truth rap. Every label from 1997 to 2007 gets re-examined. Russell Simmons, Suge Knight, even Jay-Z. The industry enters a truth audit. My prediction? Biggie's case gets reopened within 18 months, not because of justice, but because of Netflix. And when it does, Diddy won't be charged, but he'll be ruined. Let's be real. Diddy didn't lose because he was guilty. He lost because he stopped being useful. The industry protected him while he made him money, but once the headlines outweighed the hits, they cut the cord. Biggie's death wasn't the end of Bad Boy, it was the beginning of Diddy's myth. But myths don't age well, and when they crack, they don't just fall, they implode. Thanks for watching Celebsphere. If you enjoyed uncovering the real story, smash that like button and hit subscribe so you never miss when we expose what everyone else is too scared to say. Ring that bell for notifications. And if you want more truth bombs like this, click on one of these videos next. Trust me, you'll want to see what we found.